Check it out. Feel the rhythm of the bass mark. Better feel the rhythm of the bass mark. Hip and the woman come from run, best me. Jump it up,
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is me, Adisa Rains, the Alpha Empath. And I'm just going to come to y'all this morning. Listen, I know I'm not supposed to be on until 10 a.m. It is exactly 5:55 a.m. where I am this morning. But in my quiet time, Spirit told me to get up and just kind of teach you guys about the divine child and the struggle between the divine child and the inner child. You see, I tell my students all the time, in your heart-centered business, you have to protect your children. Now, depending on what level of spirituality they're at, they might be thinking that I'm talking about just protecting their physical children. And I am. That's the beauty about spiritual things. It kind of transcends all levels, so you can get it where you need to get it at, okay? So yes, I do mean protecting your physical children, but more so than that, I mean protecting your inside child, protecting your inner child. You see, why do we create a heart-centered business? And who is going to be the heir to our heart-centered business? For me, I didn't want my inner child to be the heir to my heart-centered business. My inner child could not be the heir to my heart-centered business because my inner child did not have my heart. You see, I had did an Abraham. That's what I had did. And if you don't know anything about the Bible, I'm a pastor's daughter. So my father made me learn the Bible. I was forced to learn the Bible, but I'm so grateful for that. And there's a story in it about Sarah, Hagar, and Abraham. And in this story, the Spirit of God had promised Abraham that he would have a child by the free woman, which was Sarah. Well, it was taking too motherfucking long for Sarah to go ahead and conceive that child. So they went ahead and concocted some other kind of plan where they was going to get a slave woman and say, listen, masculine energy, Abraham, I'm going to need you to go and produce a child on this slave. And then I'm going to call that child my own. I need you to go ahead and produce Ishmael because I can't wait on Isaac. And that's what I did in my own life. My masculine energy didn't feel like waiting, and my feminine energy didn't feel like waiting for my feminine energy to develop. You need time to allow your feminine energy to develop into a free woman, because it's only a free woman that can produce an heir for your heart-centered business. But just like Sarah, I didn't wait until my feminine energy had become wise enough to become a wife to my masculine energy. So I went out and created a child with Hagar. Now, I hope you know what I'm talking about. You see, I am an energetic being and I have masculine energy and I have feminine energy. So when I'm telling you this story, I need you to get into the 5D. I need you to get into the meta and understand what I'm trying to say to you and get out of your 3D consciousness. I'm telling you that my masculine energy, when it produced a child, I call that child my inner child. That inner child, the mother of it is the fucking world. The mother of my inner child is the world, and the world was a slave. And that inner child never felt safe, ever. My 3D self, was brought up in an environment where as a child, I never, ever felt safe. My mother would allow anyone into our home, and sometimes those people would abuse me. Sometimes one of those people would rape me. At other times they would molest me. So my energy, because we are not this body, we are energy. So my energy developed into an inner child that was always fearful. And that inner child resides in my subconscious. That is where she resides. And she would always make decisions based on fear, because she was a fucking slave. She was just like her mother. She wasn't courageous enough to break free. But at a certain point in my life, I had to evolve. I had to grow the fuck up. And I had to recognize that my inner child was stopping me from becoming the woman that I know that I'm fucking destined to be. And I had to evolve. So I said, okay, Sarah, okay, feminine energy, you see that plan that you came up with, creating your consciousness, creating your ego, creating your soul in the image of the world did not fucking work for you. We don't even know what to do with this child. This child is acting out. This child won't make a move. This child won't do anything because this child is not based on heart. This child is based on fear. So it's time for us to birth our real child. And I birthed my divine child. But in order to birth my divine child, I had to change. My feminine energy had to change. I had to make the conscious effort to put my energy in environments where I felt safe. You see, I couldn't be like my physical 3D mother. I can't let anybody in and out of my goddamn house. You no. You don't get to come in and out of my house. The reason why you don't get to come in and out of my house is because my divine child needs to feel safe in this house. Do you understand what I'm saying? This right here is a house for my divine child. And your energy is not going to come into my motherfucking house and make my goddamn divine child feel unsafe. If you are listening to me in 3D consciousness, would you allow, as a parent, would you allow a motherfucker to come into your house and make your child feel unsafe? Well, maybe you would, but I don't suggest that. I don't advise that. You are going to have to make your energetic child feel safe. If you come into my home in the wrong energy, see, I used to feel guilty about this shit. I don't feel guilty about it no more. But if you come into my home, because, like, to be honest with you, I don't really have people in my house. I just really, really don't. You have to have you have to be in control of your own fucking energy, because you are a guest and you better behave like a motherfucking respected and honored guest if I invite you into my home. So if it used to be a time you could come into my home, and because I was trying to be polite, yeah, a lot of you parents are sitting up here trying to be polite to people that ain't making your children feel safe, and you fucking out of order. And if you are doing this on a spiritual level, if you are inviting people into your home, inviting energies into your body, and those energies don't make you feel safe, you are out of order again. You are out of order. Have enough courage to defend your child. You see, one of the reasons why the need for the divine feminine it was like so needed, is because 3D women forgot how to protect their motherfucking children. They forgot. Have you forgotten, women, that you are supposed to be the first protectors of your fucking child, not the daddy? You are. Feminine energy is the first God and the ruler of the house. So I had to rule this house and ask myself, whenever I'm in the company of somebody, whether I'm having lunch with them, whether I'm riding a car with them, whether I'm going to work with them, does this energy that I am surrounding my divine child in, is it an environment where my divine child can cultivate into the ruler that it's supposed to be? Is this energy going to create a divine child that is compassionate, or is this energy going to create a divine child that's not compassionate, that's fearful? You see, evil, I hate to use that word because that's such a cliche motherfucking word. Let me use another word. Undisciplined energy. When you put your divine child in the presence of undisciplined energy, it affects the energy of you. I am not going to I don't give a fuck how much I love you. You're going to have to discipline your energy in order to be around my divine child, because my divine child is the heir to my heart-centered business. It is the ruler of my heart-centered business. It is the decision maker of my heart-centered business. So my divine child has to be strong. She has to be compassionate. She has to be loving, but she can't be a motherfucking pushover. So I got to do whatever it fucking takes, because whatever rules are written on the heart of my divine child are the exact same rules that I implement in my heart-centered business. I hope that makes sense to you guys. You see, I don't have a set of rules for my heart-centered business that I don't have for my divine child. The two are one. The heart-centered business is the legacy of my divine child. But I had to do my work. I had to do my work to figure out how in the hell could I turn my Ishmael into my Isaac? How could I do that? And I'm going to be real with you. I had to slow the fuck down. I had to slow the fuck down, and I had to learn how to take care of me. Now, I know that you think that, oh, we're adults, Adisa, and we all know how to take care of ourselves. No, you don't. You don't know how to take care of yourself. You have never taken the time. You've never taken the time. I had to recognize that my divine child, she's an early riser. She likes to wake up early in the morning and she gets her spiritual downloads. She likes to get all of her work done at the beginning of the day. And then she likes to go out and play and have fun. But when I was in corporate America, my divine child could not thrive in that. that shit was not divine for me. That shit felt like slavery. So why in the hell would I put my divine child in a reality where it had to be a slave? It wasn't destined to be a slave. I had to free myself, and I had to have the fucking courage to do so. Many of you can't get your heart-centered business off the ground because you lack courage. You lack courage. You lack faith. You lack patience. You don't allow yourself, you don't love yourself enough to make you feel protected. You don't love yourself enough to make you feel honored. As when I opened my heart centered business, one of the things that my divine child needed was I can't have any kind of student. So I had to implement the process of having admissions interview. It's not about if you can pay to be a part of my course. Yeah, you can motherfucking pay, but that don't mean I'm going to accept you, because your energy is going to cause my divine child to become somebody that I don't want to be, because you are undisciplined and you are not committed to becoming disciplined. You are, listen, you guys, if you are going to have a heart-centered business, your heart-centered business has to target people that cause your divine child to bloom. Just know anybody can be your target. Now, listen, this corporate world teaches quantity. Just go out and get as many people as you possibly can and then filter through. Listen, my divine child can't take all the motherfucking hits. My divine child is not designed. My soul will not take all the motherfucking hits. No, I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to do my research. I'm going to slow the fuck down so I can develop quality. Quality first, then quantity. Just like you don't want to feed your child just anything, you can't feed your divine child anything, or you're going to have Ishmael instead of Isaac. And the contract that you have already signed with Spirit made Isaac the heir and not your fucking Ishmael, not whatever fear-based inner child that you didn't fucking develop. That baby don't have your heart. That baby don't have your heart. I have 3 children. Now, I might hurt your feelings. You might be mad at me. I really don't give a fuck, to be honest with you. I really don't, because I'm going to go ahead and keep it real. I love all 3 of my children, but only one of my motherfucking children has my heart. Only one of them. My other 2 children have the heart based on the fear consciousness that I was in when I had them. So when it comes to my heart-centered business, I already know the person that's going to be the heir. It's the person that I am taking the time to fucking protect. It's the person that I'm taking the time to cultivate. It's the person that if you come up into this house, if you come to 9494, this baby, Yakin Hilliard got to feel safe up in this motherfucking house, because he is the heir to the legacy. It took me a long time to develop my heart enough where I could monetize it successfully and efficiently and sustainably. So I'm not going to be reckless with it. And I'm asking you, if you have been called to a heart-centered vision, you are going to have to evolve your inner child, because that motherfucker is based on fear. You're going to have to evolve it into a divine child. You got to stop trying to do the things that only Isaac is meant to do, and you acting like Ishmael. Now, if you don't know this story in the Bible, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Because look, I don't know, but I'm gonna go over here to some of these comments over here. Stan, yes, Jade Chamberlain, you are absolutely right. Do not allow anybody to come into your sacred space. Do not allow anybody to come into your energetic temple. Do not allow anybody to come into your home that makes you feel fucking uncomfortable. Because if you do it in your personal life, you're going to do that shit in your business life. The 2 must become one. If you're going to practice it in your business life, you got to first practice it in your personal life. You got to first practice that shit in your personal life. So when I look at my students and I see, and I get on their ass, listen, I know they be mad at me. They're like Adisa. That happened 24 million years ago. Why do I have to defend myself? Because your divine child is ageless. Your inner child is eternal. You got to stand up and protect yourself. You got to, because that's the only way you're going to stand strong in your heart-centered business. That's the only way your heart-centered business is going to be a corrective and a protective system to protect the beauty of you. It's the only way. You gotta have the courage. So yes, go ahead and call mama. Mama, I love you. I love you. But I didn't feel safe as a child growing up with you. And I'm an adult now, and my divine child has a need and it needs to feel safe, and it don't feel safe around you. So listen, I ain't coming over. I'm not coming to your house for Christmas dinner. I know that that is a tradition, but I'm gonna have to forego that because I have an assignment that I need to carry out, and that soil at your house does not cultivate my divine child. So I'm gonna have to pass. And yes, you are gonna get talked about. Yes, you're gonna get talked about. But listen, I don't give a fuck how much I get talked about. I don't give a fuck how much I get talked about. When it comes to protecting that little boy that's in that bedroom sleeping back there, I'm going to do whatever the fuck it takes. And if I can be that way for my 3D biological child, I'll be goddamn if I can't be that way for my 5D divine child. I am going to protect my child. I am going to make my divine child feel safe. Another thing that I had to get out of, you see, when I was a child, my mother never had enough money. She just never did. She, was always going, I don't know. She worked hard. Oh, she was a crackhead. That was the problem. Okay, yeah, yeah. So my mother was well, she wasn't was she a crackhead? Yeah, she was. She was a crackhead for a long time, y'all. So even though she worked hard, she would use her money to escape. She would use her money to escape. Now, what that created, the environment that created for my inner child is whenever there is a lack of abundance or a lack of money, I close down. I closed down. And as I got into my adult life, what it drove me to do is it drove me to make lots of money. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I am no, because we scared to the motherfucker. The lights can't go off. Paying bills late. That shit ain't gonna never happen. And it manifested as a great credit score. It manifested as a great credit score, right? Like that was good. But the part that wasn't good about it is that I was always on my hustle. I never took time for rest, ever, ever, because my fear would not allow me to get out of hustle mode. Because if I got out of hustle mode to figure out what my divine child and what my inner child needed to develop into a divine child, I was going to have to slow down. And I couldn't slow down because that fear wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me. So when I got called and I finally accepted the call to my heart-centered business, I had to I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I went from financial services and everybody called me stupid. Everybody called me stupid. My best friends called me stupid. They talked about me. They tried to confront me, who I was as a mother. Like, you gonna stop taking care of your child? First of all, I ain't gonna never stop taking care of my physical child, but I needed to slow down so I could take care of my inner child. So I drove Lyft and Uber for a whole fucking year. And yes, I was humbled. Yes, it hurt me, but I needed to do that so I could slow the fuck down. And I swear to you, Spirit provided for me. Every month, my bills were paid because I had to get out of that fear and understand that I am the anointed one and you are too. And I'm not going to fall. I am not going to fall, and you are not going to fall either. But you have to be courageous enough to protect you. Protecting you is an act of bravery in a world where it's designed to not give a fuck about your divine child. You wonder why this 3D world don't give a fuck about our biological children? The reason why it doesn't give a fuck about our biological children is because we don't give a fuck about our inner child and it can't develop into a divine child. That's the reason why. Let me go to some of these other comments over here. Amazing. I need to watch this again and take notes. Fear has been holding me back for way too long. Honey, I don't know who you are, but you are absolutely right. Do not let fear hold you back. There's another person. Her name is Valencia Williams. That's her name. Her name is Valencia Williams. If you are watching this, Valencia, you need to call me because you have been on my fucking heart. You need to call me, okay? We have I'll be goddamn, bitch. Hold up. Valencia Williams. Listen, honey, Spirit woke me up this morning with you on my motherfucking heart. I know I haven't seen you in 6 years. I don't know, maybe 7. I don't even fucking know. But listen, you need to call me. You gotta call me because, baby, I got something for you. I got something for you. Listen, Valencia, you need to go to the next fucking level. You got to go to the next level. But your understanding of the scripture, see, the way that you understand the scripture, you're understanding it from an Ishmael basis instead of an Isaac basis. And I'm hoping that I know I'm putting your business out here on Front Street, but this is not an accident that you on my live and I woke up this morning and you on here. You supposed to be on here. That is not by motherfucking coincidence. So I gotta go with the flow. Listen, honey, you are correct. Spirit has saved you. You already know you were supposed to be dead, just like me. I done had 4 motherfucking strokes and I ain't dead. See, there's some work that I gotta do. There's some unfinished business that we all gotta do, and there's a lot of unfinished business that you gotta do. But you're gonna have to get your subconscious mind out of the Ishmael fear-based religion and put your subconscious mind in the energetic metaphysic consciousness so your divine child can transform. That is the way. That's the only thing that's going to take your business to the next level. That's the only motherfucking thing. You got to get rid of the day old manna. You need fresh manna every motherfucking day. That's what you need. That's what you got to have. But it's not just you, it's some other people too. Let's see. I don't know who this is. Your childhood sounds exactly like mine, and then my adulthood always on hustle mode. Yes, listen, in financial services, I have worked in healthcare. I was always on hustle mode because I had 2 children that I had to protect, and I didn't have the time to protect. I didn't even have the understanding to protect my divine child. I didn't even understand that I was energy at that time. And then I went over into financial services, and I was like, we're gonna always protect ourselves with money. And even though you have all the money that you want to have, you still don't feel safe on the fucking inside. Ask me how I know, because I lived it. I lived it, had all my monetary needs taken care of, still didn't feel motherfucking safe. Still didn't feel safe. See, I'm gonna keep it real. My son, my son, when he was 4, all his monetary needs, he has never had any monetary needs. It's always been handled for him since birth, okay? But he came to me at 4 and he said, Mama, I don't feel safe. How the fuck? Hold up. How the fuck you don't feel safe in this environment that I have created? And the reason why my child didn't feel safe is because I was in a marriage where I didn't feel safe. See, my son is an empath just like me. Here's another thing that you have to watch. Listen, my son is an empath just like me. So that energy of lack of security in my marriage, my son was picking that up, and that was developing his inner child. I had to get myself out that motherfucking situation because feminine energy is the first fucking protector. I had a responsibility. See, that's my air. I had a responsibility to make sure that I cover myself, make sure that I protect myself. So whatever dysfunction is on me doesn't transfer over to him. How you gonna protect your child and you don't even feel safe? You're gonna have to feel safe. So I had to be real with myself and get the fuck up out of that marriage. Listen, you guys, I have a client shortly. I wasn't even supposed to go on until 10 a.m. But listen, I have a client, so I'm going to have to tell y'all bye-bye. But if you like what I'm talking about, if it resonates with you, I'm going to need you to like type in golden ticket under this post. If you type in golden ticket, I have a class on Wednesday nights. It's Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. CST. And if you type in golden ticket, I will give you access, a one-time complimentary pass to that class. So type in golden ticket if you want to, and one of my students will reach out to you and give you your golden ticket so you can be at the class. Again, I love you so much, and I'm going to bid you adieu. Adios.